Be very clear, that is not your money. And even if you stay, at some point when you retire, they expect a part of that bonus back.
Yeah, so, and Jess, what I'm aware of is for you, you made a pretty solid transition. I was actually coaching you at the time. You picked up, just moved from New Jersey to Texas, which is a pretty drastic cultural move. You didn't know a soul. That first calendar year, I think you did like 50 transactions, which is awesome, 52, something like that, 15 million in volume. And what was interesting is at the time, I believe I had a conversation with you, and you actually decided to go someplace else. And so perhaps maybe walk people through what the barrier was in terms of thinking for you to like actually see it, and then what caused you to see it, and then what your experience has been, because you've really like blossomed and thrived in this model over the last, I don't know, 15 months.
Thank you for that. So I have a quick question for Mark. Mark, you said that you used to own part of an office. Do you know how much your overhead was there?
Yeah, at the time our overhead was like $85,000 a month.
Oh goodness. So in order for you to be profitable, you had to cover that. Interesting, because part of your question was like why I decided to make the move and leave. I kept trying to grow a team because the only way I saw to grow, to be able to handle the volume that we wanted to do, was with collaboration, having other people involved. And I was constantly training my competition. And a lot of people get tired of that. Many of you have experienced it, where you've poured into someone, you've done everything you can, and now they're your best competitor. So I had that experience. Something to look out for is what he kind of touched on. There's a lot of brokerages right now who, in order to gain you as their agent, are going to offer you a sign-on bonus.
That's what happened with you. Yeah.
He's right. I was moving to a new market. I was leaving my financial stability in a partner, and this brokerage offered me a very healthy sign-on bonus. Be very clear, that is not your money. The minute you leave, you are expected to pay that entire bonus back. And even if you stay, at some point when you retire, they expect a part of that bonus back. It is not your money. So when I left to come to EXP, I was expected to pay back that full $100,000. I was also stripped of my pendings, and I was not allowed to take my active listings with me. And I still would do it 10 times.
Yeah, and I guess I'm wondering because, it's interesting because we were having a conversation as somebody who now has conversations with agents about, making transitions. And it's very interesting to me that the vast majority of agents do not read ICAs. What was interesting is Dan's been in business for like 25 years. He said to me out loud, he's like, what's an ICA? So it's what I'm aware of is that most agents don't read that. And they don't read the fine print in terms of, because what that model essentially is we're gonna give you a payday advance, and we're gonna have you sign a contract for a specific allotment of time, so that way you're stationary. It has a split that never caps, so you're gonna give it all back to them, really, over time. And if you do decide to leave or wanna transition, there's clawback mechanisms. And it's just that people don't read. We had one agent who made a transition recently, and buried 2 addendums deep was that if he left, they kept 50% of pennies, right? So it's just something to be like aware of. At the same time, I'm also aware that for you at that time making that transition, what they offered you was like meaningful, right? So I understood why you decided to take it. And then what caused you to say like, okay, I am willing to walk away from a meaningful amount of money, a meaningful like pendings, listings, because I think that this opportunity is best long-term?
Because I kept hitting a ceiling. Probably a lot of brokers and team leaders feel that way, that they're almost stuck. Like, we're doing all the things, right? Mark, you're doing all the things. Why am I still like struggling to break through the next, stage? And when you have children, or if you have a big, robust life, you don't want to stay in the same place forever. You want to grow. You want to constantly be evolving. And that just wasn't possible where I was at, in the model that I was in.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then in the last, however many months it's been, 12 months, for the first maybe 6 months, you know, we would have conversations. I have the good fortune, I've coached you for a while. And, you know, you're focused on production, and that was going well. And then once the light bulb went off with regards to this attraction thing, in the last maybe 6 or 7 months, you've attracted how many agents?
45 total, and 6 have left.
Yeah, okay, so that's
39 is
30.
the agent count
There
right
you
now.
go. We're agents, we like to make numbers sound bigger. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's dope. And what I'm aware of is now, instead of just selling something, now you're building something. Yeah, and that's awesome. So it's a privilege and a pleasure to be in partnership with you.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, for sure. Backhand. So,